I don't know what to say. The monkeys won't do. And I also don't know what to say about those crazy producers from the GeekCast radio network. They're driving me crazy. Ugh.
You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips. Today I'd like to welcome to the program Kevin the Giraffe, entertainer, Twitch streamer, event organizer, and deep diver of geek culture. Welcome, Kevin.
I like how you sounded confused on entertainer. Just like, I'm not sure if he really entertains, but because it fits in perfectly with my brand. I have no idea.
Yeah, I had fun reading your profile bit that you typed into the original form that was submitted through the podcast guests. It was rather entertaining to me. I'm like, okay, this dude's got some interesting stories.
I mean, they're here and there. They're hard to keep track of, to tell you honestly. They just tend to, like, come out whenever I'm like, if somebody's ever like, oh, do you remember that? I'm like, actually, I don't remember that story. But now that you mention it, maybe I will. You just let me go back in the memory banks. I'm like, yes, that story.
It's
great.
retconned.
Yeah. Here's that story again. There's actually, I have such a bad memory for it that I tend to say the same story sometimes when I stream. Because I just can't remember what I've said. So, like, I'll say the same story, but I can have something that's even slightly inconsistent. Somebody calls me on my bullshit. They're like, oh, whoa. Last time it was, you said this. And I'm like, oh, my God. You know what? I'm so sorry. Everything's a lie. I'm a horrible person. But, yeah.
I've had people do that to me, too. Only for the sense that, like, and this is the funny thing. Somebody will tell me something I said, like, 5 podcasts ago, and I'm like, I don't even remotely remember what that episode was about. Like, I'm
not even the same person back then.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this person you speak of? Like, I just like, I don't know about you, but like, I have a brain purge after I've talked about all the, like, I'll do a brain dump of everything that I wanted to talk about in that episode, and then it disappears from my mind, and I've felt like everything's been said on the subject, and then I'll remember something later, and then I'll bring it back up again, and they're like, didn't you talk about, like, 5 episodes? Like, and I won't remember anything. My co-host will call me out on it sometimes. He'll be like, do you remember that one episode, that long ago? And I'm like, I need context. I don't even know what we're talking about right now.
Oh, dude, every time I wake up, it's like waking up into a new year for me. Like, I just wake up and I'm like, oh my God, what, did I even stream yesterday? What happened? Like, who am I?
What day of the week is it?
Yeah. And the worst part is, this is gonna sound narcissistic and he's egotistical, but my editor, his name is Zoran. He edits all my YouTube videos from my Twitch stream. He highlights it, and the worst part is it's so far behind from my streams that I'll actually go back and watch his highlights that he's making for me, and I'll laugh at my own jokes. Because I just flat out don't remember me saying that. And I facepalm a lot, being like, oh, did I actually say that? Oh my God.
Are you on video when you do it, though?
No.
Okay, that makes it better, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Because then you can't see your face when you're doing it.
It's true. That's actually a good point. I don't use videos, so I can't. I still hear really stupid things that I say, though. And it's like, oh, wow. I didn't think anybody could actually think that dumb. But I've really push the limits of stupid things to say.
I've said a number of things on podcasts, and my friend and co-creator of the network will never let me let him down, or live him down, because he records every conversation.
Oh no!
That we have, just for purposes of use later. And I've done it to him on a couple of occasions, or like there'll be an occasion where, like, for instance, he'll swear and I'll put goat sounds or farm animal sounds over his voice, and it drives him nuts. So it's a lot of fun. But but I've said enough crazy jokes, like, over time that he'll just use them. We've got a few of Birdman Dodd from like 9 years ago that are pretty out there that I don't think he'd want out there anymore. But yeah.
But it's unfortunate. It's recorded forever, and it's forever going to live on the internet.
Yeah,
you can never undo it.
Yeah, we still have them, and they come out on occasion.
Oh, good. Good. That's called being good friends.
Yes, yes.
Calling your friend on some shit they said way too long ago when they weren't even the same person. That's called friendship.
That's called accountability.
Friendship accountability.
So, since we've already gotten into this diatribe, could you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm a giraffe who plays on Twitch using a DDR pad, and I stream, and I just kind of that's really all I do. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life at this point, and it's kind of led to me streaming. I mean, as I said, there's event planning and there's like a bunch of stuff like that. But I started streaming just because I wanted to do it, and it's kind of, I don't know, it just started working out. One of my friends convinced me to do it with him, and so I actually used to stream as part of like a couple. Like me and my friend used to do it together. My roommate, actually. But then he got a real job and left me in the dust. So I decided to continue on. And I don't know, it seemed to work out as just like being, I don't know, the kind of person I am. I like to be social and I like to talk to people. So Twitch seems to fit that criteria, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really good at talking about myself personally. I'm always just like, I'm just a dumb thing that like streams and plays video games and talks to people. But like, I don't know what else part to put that. I mean,
you want the friendship of sitting in the basement talking to someone, but you don't necessarily want to be next to them.
That's exactly it. See, I used to do that so much. I used to just sit next to my friends and we just like play single player games while talking to each other and making jokes. That's just kind of what Twitch is, right? Just sitting with a friend and playing a video game.
With a bunch of stalkers watching you at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm vain. I want those stalkers. I'm vain as hell. I want them all up on me.
Wow. So, speaking of disturbing things, how did you get the moniker of the giraffe?
Well, I'm a giraffe. I mean, no,
and I'm a llama.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what? Actually, it's gonna sound stupid, but I had to pick a name really fast, and I don't know. Kevin fit the bill. So it was just really easy to be like, oh, okay, I'm already a giraffe. Let's just make up the name Kevin. Yeah, it actually just came really fast. It was just like, Kevin is easy, and I personally like the ideas of like just you don't know what you're getting, but you have an idea of what you're getting when someone's like, I'm so-and-so, the such and such. And for some reason, I was just like, you know what? I like giraffes. Giraffes are tall. They're cool. They kill each other when they fight. Like, they literally commit suicide sometimes when they fight. Have you ever seen two giraffes fight? They do it with their necks and stuff, and, like, they'll just die straight up. It's vicious. And I was like, that just fits me perfectly. So I'm just going to go with it. And I didn't expect, actually, when I was coming up with it and doing it, that I would get a little bit of a furry following. But I should have expected that. I think a lot more than I did. But I have no problem with anybody's sort of, like, kind of fetish or whatever they like. It all doesn't... I think it's cool to kind of have something about yourself that you're like, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy, so, you know, do whatever. I know there seems to be a little bit of a stigma when it comes to, like, furries and stuff like that, but honestly just people, and, you know, they're some of the best people I've met on Twitch are people who are furries, and, like, it's just like a type of person. And I didn't expect that when going into it, that I would get people, you know, that I would meet people like that, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, it's just, how can I say? It's just like, I guess I didn't expect when I first started getting into Twitch, this is a little off topic, that, like, this is the kind of people you meet, that you meet so many different types of people. And I was getting ready when I was doing Twitch to be more trolled and, like, having to put up with the bullshit and the garbage, but I'm really easy at doing that. I do with that on, like, I've worked in retail for like 8 years, so I know.
Oh yeah, so you got thick skin.
Oh yeah, I know how to deal with anybody's, you know, garbage quick and efficiently. But, like, I got into Twitch and it actually just became a really loving community. And, like, I think I've had to ban one person, and I had to ban them because they were harassing somebody else. And, like,
And
that
it wasn't
to
even
me,
you.
it wasn't even me. They tried to harass me after, like I banned them, and then they were like, "Whoa, you're just a N word, F word, every word they could do in the book. This is the kind of person you are. Like you're such a pussy and like all this." And I was like, "Dude, you were just harassing somebody else in the chat. You could have harassed me and you would be not banned. I don't care. But it's harassing somebody who in my chat who is obviously getting offended. That's where I draw the line. You can say whatever you want to me. I don't care. But when somebody in my chat feels uncomfortable, nah, I can't let that continue." So,
No.
but you do need a thick skin for Twitch. Absolutely. Oh my God. You need. There's been way too many times people have come in and just tried to like, yeah, and then it's as long as you like react appropriately and you like hit them back with something, they usually go like, "Nice, you're actually kind of cool." And then you're like, "Oh, okay, well, perfect. Now we can be friends."
I need the approval rating.
Exactly. Basically, like it's like, "Oh,
they noticed me."
Yeah, you noticed me, and you actually weren't like you took that with pride, so I guess it's fine. Like, and you're like, ah, good.
So, with being a Twitch streamer, what are some of the games and content that you kind of cover on your streams?
Well, I'm not like the biggest streamer in the world at all, by any sense of the imagination. I'm not even good at it. But I have people who come and watch me, and that's the only thing I can ask for, is like starting a stream and actually have people coming immediately there waiting to watch. And like what I do is I do a lot of variety, and I try to do things that my chat wants to see. Every once in a while I try to stick to a game and finish it, but I'm so bad at finishing games just in my personal life. Like I just can't do it. It's like reading a good book. I don't want to finish it because then it's over. Like I just can't. There's literally been my favorite book ever I've never finished because I don't want it to end. It's like the stupidest sentence ever. But it's just, there's a twist. I don't want to know what the twist is because I don't want to know the answer and I don't want it to be over. And so that kind of affects me in video games. But having like a crowd that's like, finish this game really, really helps. But yeah, I do a lot of variety. A couple of my friends actually wanted to get into streaming as well. And they've been trying for like a month or two and they're getting like nobody watching and they were getting kind of really down on themselves. And I was like, dude, streaming isn't about just like going out there and doing it. But you do have to be consistent. But do some research and find a game that interests you, but also has a little bit of a niche to it. Like he was just streaming Fortnite and I was like, don't do Fortnite. Nobody's going to notice you. It's just there's too many people playing Fortnite and you're never going to be as good as like Ninja or something like that, So try something different, do some research and see what has like a big community, but like is not being streamed very much. So then he started doing Neverwinter Nights. I don't know if you've ever heard of that game.
Yep.
Yeah. And immediately within like 3 days, he started having like an average of 6 or 7 people watching him that he didn't know, wanting to just hang out with him with the game as well. And he was like, why did that work? I'm amazed. I'm like, it's because you chose something very niche. Like you chose something very, very, small. And once they like you enough, you can change to other games. And they'll come with you. The people that really enjoy you and be there, they'll come with you. They'll go on adventures. And who knows, they might try that new game with you as well. I streamed basically The Division when I first started for like the first month. Nothing but The Division. And all I got was people who really liked The Division until one day I was like, okay, I need to do something new. And I have a few people that like to watch me on a daily basis. So why don't we try something new? And so I did like a scary game, like a one-off there. And then I just kind of steamrolled out of control where like I can't even be consistent on a video game. Like I'm just grabbing whatever video game from wherever. And like I also do like research on what video games I should play. Like I did Doki Doki Literature Club when it was like first released. I was like really up on getting into like knowing that game because I noticed somebody was like, oh, this game's actually really interesting, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this one. And it was like really, I don't know if you played Doki Doki.
Nope.
If you haven't, I really
I've heard
recommend
of it.
Yeah, honestly, if you haven't, dude, it's so good. It's so ridiculous, but so good, and it's never what you're gonna expect. Unless you already know what it's about, then don't even bother. Just skip it entirely. If you already know what it's about, then whatever, get rid of it. But yeah, it was just like being that kind of variety, helps for my sanity, so I can kind of like change it up a lot. But that's really what I do. I just try to keep it fresh and keep it new for everybody, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first tried my hand at streaming, it was playing. Granted, it was around the time that Battlefield 1 was coming out. I started playing Battlefield 4, but it was more so because I was just trying it out, trying to figure out the process and everything else. And I kind of played around on Twitch, and then I tried YouTube gaming, and then I more so did the YouTube just because it was just easier for me to set up. And not that Twitch was any harder, it's just I liked the idea of stuff staying in the ether.
Yeah.
But then I managed to get access to Battlefield 1, the alpha.
Oh, nice.
And just out of the blue, got the alpha access, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stream this, because we were allowed to do that. And so I did, and I had a few people follow me here or there, and I was like, I got to be really boring because people were leaving. Because, like, I'm running around, like, whipping bombs and, like, blowing crap up. Like, I'm not even really, like, blowing anybody away. Like, I mean, I was doing pretty decent with the sniper shot and, like, in the train, like, blowing away airplanes and everything. But, like, it really wasn't, like, all that entertaining, and I was kind of sitting there. I kind of zone out when I play, and I get right into the game and forget that there's anything else going on.
Yeah.
Which is really difficult if you're trying to stream and get an audience, apparently.
Oh, man, you have to notice them. If you don't notice them, oh boy, you will get A, called out, or B, they'll never stay. You have to be so up. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm saying that in almost a negative light, but it's not. Me personally, the only reason why I think people stay in my chat is because I'm very keen on trying to keep up with the chat and, like, talk to them. But you have to notice. If you don't, that's why you get those people come in and go, hey, and then you're like, hey, what's up? And then they just leave because you didn't notice fast enough. And you're like, damn it. Oh, I need to be quicker. Meanwhile, it could have just been the delay, the streaming delay.
Yeah, I've had that incident before too, just live streaming a podcast, like where the delay was the problem, not my response.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I tried that out for a while, and then I did the beta of Battlefield 1, because I got in on that too, and then I did the early release, and then started playing it, and then I kind of was like, everybody's doing this, I don't even care right now, and so I quit, but yeah, so obviously that would be some tips for people wanting to get into that space, is to pick something unique.
Yeah, picking something unique really, really helps. And being consistent is the best thing you can do. That's what they really want. That's what anybody really wants. They want consistency. They want to know when you're going to be on and how long you're going to be on for. That's the real. And if you're not going to stream, it's just like a job. You better write a formal letter to your community, if you have one, being like, I am sorry. I can't do it because I'm sick, or I have this. I promise I'll try to make it up to you guys. You know, you have to treat it like a job. If you don't, then they don't. Why would they come back? They don't know when you're going on. So
you're like, he abandoned me.
Seriously, yeah, it's rough. Every couple months, I get really down and I feel bad because I feel like I don't do enough for my community, and I write like these huge long letters being like, this is what's going on in my life. This is what I just want to say. I love you all. Like, I have to be like, I am so sorry that I'm not doing my best. Like, it gets really emotional and just kind of pathetic to read, really.
See, I have those breakdowns on the podcast. So I could go back and listen to them later.
Oh, perfect. Oh, my God. It's lovely.
I can be like, and then like the failed attempts of like ideas, like, yeah, I'm going to try this. And then like 3 episodes later, it's like gone, or like I totally forget about it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I was talking about Zoran being my editor for YouTube videos. The worst part is I'll literally tell Zoran something on stream that I know he'll listen to, and then he'll send me texts later saying like, yeah, sure, bud. What? Like, this is straight up, this is like a week later too sometimes, and I'm like, what am I agreeing to, or what did you agree to? And like at one point, this happened so often, I was like, dude, I need to write these things down. Like, I can't. And he was like, it's funnier this way, don't worry about it. It feels so bad.
Dude with no context, say what?
Yeah, basically. it gets really bad sometimes. I think like I was like, oh man, like last time, one of the last texts he sent me was like, hey man, are you gonna send me that thing? And I was like, there were things. I don't remember what it was. And he's like, you were really vague in the video too. And I'm like, yep, this is bad. I'm just gonna have to send you things and hope that I'm doing what I wanted to do.
Send you things. I
Just
won't tell you what
things.
they are.
Yeah, I'll send you things and stuff. I won't know. Neither of us will really know if it was what I wanted, but we'll just use it somehow. Yeah.
So you also mentioned that you've prepped for conventions
Well, yeah. So, I mean,
or worked with conventions.
I've worked with conventions, and I've worked at like some bigger ones, and I I was hoping to eventually kind of get into the business myself, but it's a little bit harder to do. And I have a lot of I'm really going for small events right now. I'm setting up small fronts in my outside of the stream community. This is actually totally separate than my streaming thing. They don't even use the same like people who know me part of like the convention scene and stuff don't know me as my Twitch handle. They're like completely separate, and I do that on purpose. But I work with a bunch of DJs, and I try to find gigs and try to do stuff like that. Like I wanted to try to start setting up a smaller event, so I eventually could grow into a bigger event and take on other conventions head on with my own convention. But that takes time and effort
And
money, which all are things that I am not good at. So one day I'll get there.
I'm good at the time thing.
Yeah, I'm not good at that part.
I'm not good at the money.
No. As a
'Cause I
giraffe,
don't have it.
Yeah, right. As a giraffe, I sleep like 12 hours a day, so I'm not good with the time thing.
I'm a crazy person. I get yelled at because I stay up like the nights that I record. I typically get like 4 to 5 hours sleep, if that. Because like,
Wow.
I get wired.
Yeah, true. See, I honestly wish I got wired. I'm honestly not kidding. I will fall asleep at 2 and sometimes wake up at 2. Like straight up. And I have no idea why. I don't know what it is. And it's so bizarre to me. And on average, I probably get like 10 and a half hours of sleep. Like it gets pretty bad. And like even alarm clocks, if I wake up at like 6 hours, I'm wanting to kill somebody. Like I don't want to do anything. I need that 10 and a half at least to like move, which is really bad because I decided that my streaming schedule should be pretty late into the night. So it was a bad idea at some point, but it worked with my job at the time. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been involved with a couple conventions. I've never actually like helped with any of them, like per se, like, but I've been present or had booths at some conventions for the podcast, and
Nice.
and it's an interesting operation, I'll say, because like I got to be in at a couple here in Michigan, and we were there like a couple years in a row, and then depending on where you get placed depends on how many people actually come talk to you.
True. Yeah.
Which can be difficult. Like the first year we went, we were like right outside of a doorway to where all of the vendors were, because it was a smaller venue that particular year, and worked great because we were able to just sit there and hand out stuff. We were like selling comics that we no longer wanted, and like giving stuff away.
Please take my garbage.
I mean, they were new in the bag, the bagged and boarded, but still, like, yeah, it was like, take away my stuff, get rid of it, pay for my gas to get here. Yeah, so I mean, it was fun, and we got to have a lot of interesting conversations. People would come up and just have random conversations with us. We met some people we knew online that we didn't realize that were in the same vicinity, and so it was kind of fun in that. The second year we were like buried next to a couple of different vendors, but it was like a low traffic spot. And we're sitting there, we're like, okay, we're like this is pointless. Like, we could all walk away from the table right now and nobody would know.
Yeah, my stuff would be there at the end of the night.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was fine. I mean, we weren't really selling anything the second. We were just kind of, we had, like a video game TV set up and some like old console and, like different, controllers and stuff. 'Cause it was for our video game podcast that was there. So it was kind of interesting, but yeah, I've mostly just kind of gone and visited conventions now just because it's easier.
Oh, yeah, it's so much easier. Honestly, all you need to know about working behind the scenes at a convention is that it's all holding on by a single thread. Like, it's all being held together by, glue, glitter, and hopes and dreams. Like, it's about to fall apart at any given moment. And that's kind of the nature of running something that has so many people involved. I've worked at Fan Expo is a huge one in Canada.
Yep, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, I've worked at that one. Working at one of the larger booths, but I've also helped with some smaller conventions, like literally building the stage before the convention starts for their like DJs and stuff. And like, it always feels like there's a million things wrong and you're just trying to find the one way where things will just happen. Like, it's just, we just have to go with the things that will go right. And the time I had to build the whole stage, it was because we'd ordered the stage and the guy literally gave it in with the truck, like planted it down and was like, all right, I'll see you guys later. We're like, what? We're like, what? Sorry? And he's like, it was just a drop off. Nobody paid anybody there's no sign saying we have to build it. I was like, are we fucking kidding? Like, is there no, like, you can't even help us? And he's like, I don't know how to build it. And then he just got in his truck and left. And we're like, all right, I guess we're going to hopefully not die or hurt ourselves building this stage. And there was like a lot of cranks and we're like trying to figure out how to like move stuff. It was exciting.
That sounds like definitely an interesting experience at a convention that no one would want to repeat.
No, and it's like that every time though. Like, there's just tons. I mean, there was another convention that I was part of, and like they had one of those fighting, like those like not sumo suits, but like kind of like sock and boppers, but it's like Darth Maul style, like the dual blades, and you're on like if you fall, you land on like bubbles and happiness. Well, one person decided to like fall and then try to jump at the same time, so they landed on pure concrete, and that led to like, there's now blood everywhere. And like, what do we do? Who do we call? Who's liable? Like, shit just goes crazy. And you're like, well, I thought people would be smart enough to try to land on the happiness, not on the actual concussion part. But you can't account for that kind of stuff. You have to like, let's just deal with it now. There was one convention that I wasn't a part of. And they decided to do it at a Japanese community center, which had real samurai armor and like a bunch of nice antiques. And someone decided to be really cool to wear one. So that was just the thing we had to deal with. Like, have you seen the guy dressed as a samurai who's definitely on some sort of like Molly or E? And it's like, oh no, there's one probably at the rave though with 2 glow sticks like going crazy. And you're like, all right, that's our guy. Let's go. That's the kind of stuff you have to deal with, like, just totally unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, who ordered the samurai, and why didn't Billy give him a helmet while he was sumo wrestling?
Yeah. Oh, man. It's so much fun.
Wow. That's insane. So, what are some things that you have coming up in the near future, whether it be stream or otherwise?
Oh my god. I'm really bad at planning, but I'm I'm on a personal level. I'm helping out some DJs literally like this weekend I'm going to a DJ performance because I'm the manager of 2 of the DJs there, and I'm like getting them like set up. One of them needs to DJ in a full SpongeBob like mascot outfit, so he can't even see his DJ equipment, so everything's pre-recorded. And he has a bunch of props for when he's DJing. It's a whole thing. It's so much. He like throws bread in the crowd. Point being is I need to set all this stuff up in order for it to work out properly. I have to like put a fan under him so he doesn't overheat in the suit. It's just a whole process. But I'm going to be doing more stuff like that in my community outside of the stream. But then when it comes to streaming, I'm just going to keep on moving forward. I'm going to try to I have to come up with a 400 special for like followers and stuff. I now soon have to listen or read the entirety of My Immortal. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
It sounds familiar.
It's possibly the worst fanfic, but the best piece of art that's ever been created. Like it's literally a fanfic that's like a mix of Harry Potter, every emo child ever, and like like Evanescence is in it for no reason, and like Harry Potter's name is Satan. Like it goes really deep, and it's like written by a girl who obviously loves black and fishnet stockings, and it's just beautiful. And so about once or twice a year, me and my chat sit down and listen to the 4-hour entirety like audiobook version, and like it's really hard to get through. In fact, the first time I ever listened to it, I ended up throwing up. No joke. I literally there's a part about 3 hours in where Marty McFly shows up, and I had to run to the washroom to vomit. Like it was just it had hit me in such a core of my person, but I needed to get rid of what was inside of me.
You had to expel the horror.
Oh yeah. Like it was just it really hit me. Like I was withstanding the pressure, and I especially because it hurt me deeper because I used to think of myself as like an emo kid when I was very, very young. Like I was into that. No, the dark hair, emo music, Gerard Way, My Chemical Romance garbage, and like her using this stuff in this like really cringy way like hurt me, and then Marty McFly showed up. And I just couldn't do it anymore. My whole body decided to react violently. So,
hey Doc, we had to go back in time and take this story and flush it.
Oh my god!
We have to take it back to 88 miles per hour.
They all say that though with like eyeliner on and like soapy hairstyles. It's so bad. The whole thing is so bad. But I'm gonna be listening to that with my chat again this year. But I'm just hoping to continue pushing on, honestly, as a creator. Oh, I do want to do, actually, there's one thing I want to do this year, which is I want to, I have this thing, I've been writing a script for some YouTube videos that I want to do. I'm deciding to do them when everybody's like, F YouTube, this place sucks, everything's being demonetized, and I'm deciding, like, that's the perfect time to really get in on the game. Like, this is the time to really try to make it for myself on YouTube. But I'm more just doing it because there's content that I want to see created on YouTube that I haven't seen yet. So that's why I'm doing that. So I'm going to be working on that a lot. And, there's just stuff like that I'm going to be working on.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are doing a lot of custom scripted content for YouTube now. I've thought about it, but I'm like, I should have got on the YouTube bandwagon years ago, and I'm too lazy to put that effort into that at the moment.
Honestly, I totally agree. The only reason why I want to do it is because, as I said, it's stuff I want to see. Right? If I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it might, it may never get popular, but that's not the point, I think. Sometimes it's just stuff that I wish I could see, that I want to witness on YouTube. That sounds egotistical and narcissistic again, but I mean it as in, like, this is the kind of content I don't see, and I want to see how far I can go with it as, like, a creator and somebody who thinks of themselves as creative,
And no matter what you say about that, people will still watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's still going to be that other person or those other people that want to see whatever it is that you're concocting. So,
I hope so.
If not,
I mean, I'll watch it. I laugh at myself. It's fine. It's all good.
So, how can the listeners get a hold of you and find out more about you online?
They can. Checking out my YouTube is actually the best way to find out more about me, because that's where all the highlighted streams. So you can kind of just not have to hear all the horrible things. You can just go straight to the jokes and the stories, which there are a lot of stories. And that would be Kevin the Giraffe at YouTube. My most popular video was posted on a Vor subreddit. So that was a thing. If you don't know what Vor is, don't look it up. Just watch me talk about it, and you'll need all you'll need to know. Otherwise, if you're more wanting to interact, the best way to get a hold of me is just Kevin the Giraffe on Twitch. That's like the best place you can go, really. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Kevin, for taking the time out of your busy schedule or busy-ish schedule, depending on what time you're sleeping or awake.
Yeah, busy-ish. That's a good way
to hang out with us here on Altered Geek.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Lot of fun. So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.